Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Victoria. I'm a lawyer and program coordinator at CLIA. For those of you who aren't familiar with CLIA, the name stands for the Community Legal Education Association, and we are a charitable organization here in Manitoba. And our mission statement is unknown rights are not rights at all. So we aim to bring information about the law and rights to people across Manitoba. We have been working to increase access to justice for Manitobans since 1984 as a charity, which means we're looking forward to celebrating our 40th anniversary in just a few years. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge that CLIA is located in Treaty 1 territory on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. And while we work primarily in Treaty 1 territory, we also work with and serve communities located in the territories of Treaties 2, 3, 4, and 5, all across what we now call Manitoba. Our webinar series is a series of legal information webinars that we offer twice per year on a variety of topics. And tonight we'll be talking about consumer protection law in Manitoba. So before we start, this session is being offered in a webinar format. So as attendees, you are muted and your cameras are off. The session is being recorded and may be posted on our website or a YouTube page at a later date. We will have dedicated time for questions, but please feel free to use the chat or Q&A functions to ask questions or share comments during the webinar. We'll be monitoring both sections. And please also feel free to let us know about any technical issues, for example, if our connections cut out or if you can't see or hear us. I'd now like to introduce our presenter and facilitator for the evening, Brian Tischynski from the Manitoba Consumer Protection Office. Brian is a licensed airline pilot with over 25 years of public speaking and classroom leadership. He joined the Consumer Protection Office in March 2021 as a Consumer Services Officer. Consumer Services Officers review consumer-related complaints, establish jurisdiction, and assist to resolve the inquiry. Brian has a keen aptitude for creating solid business and consumer relationships, where he understands the importance of a fair, strong, and thriving Manitoba. Tonight, Brian will be providing an overview of what the Consumer Protection Office does and business areas it licenses and regulates. He will also be reviewing consumers' rights and responsibilities with respect to common transactions such as vehicle purchase and repair, direct sales, and internet agreements. And we thank Brian so much for his time and expertise. And with that, I will hand it over to Brian.
Good afternoon, everyone. And again, thank you to Victoria, Maria, and Clea for the opportunity to present this evening. Without further ado, let's just step into exactly what the Consumer Protection Office offers Manitobans. And again, like Victoria had stated, that if there are any questions, please feel free at any time to chat, send it through, and we'll address the questions as we roll through. So let's begin. So what type of services does the Consumer Protection Office offer? Well, we license and regulate several specific business areas. We here mediate and investigate consumer complaints, and we have a big role in public education, both for consumers and businesses. Our office consists and/or is made up of consumer service officers, our licensing unit, as well as our education and outreach staff. And again, just touching on it, that a big portion of what we do is educating both consumers and businesses as to their rights and responsibilities regarding consumer protection. So, as quickly alluded to, we mediate and investigate consumer complaints. We are not a court and we do not make rulings. We are not lawyers. The Consumer Protection is not a consumer advocate. It is a neutral and remains neutral body. Our legislation applies to individual to business transactions only. And we'll touch a little bit more on this a little bit throughout the presentation, where what exactly we mean by individual to business transactions and not individual to individual transactions. Business areas. So we license and regulate payday loans and high cost credits, companies, businesses. collections, so collection agencies and the agents as well. Direct or door-to-door sales would be called direct sellers. The funeral service industry, which as of March 31st of this year, the Consumer Protection Office administers the bereavement legislation for Manitoba. Hearing aid dealers will investigate concerns, mediate and hear complaints in regards to internet transactions, gift cards, warranties and guarantees, credit bureau reporting, motor vehicle advertisements, as well as work and repairs, prepaid contracts such as gym memberships and film classification. So the first topic we'll dive into at this point will be warranties. Read all warranties carefully. Some warranties do not cover the whole part or product, I should say, and may only cover certain parts. An example of this would be a window air conditioner, where the air conditioner itself may not come with a warranty. However, the sealed components or the compressor may come with a warranty. That would be one example. One manufacturer may allow warranties, services to be done anywhere, while others may require you to go to the authorized dealer only. So an example of this would be televisions. Again, continuing, read warranties carefully. Warranties may limit the protection they offer to the person who originally bought them. An example in this case would be a garage door for a house. Once the garage door is sold to that individual, and then that individual sells the dwelling, the warranty no longer follows the new buyer. Before buying an as-is floor model or demonstrator, ask if there is any warranty. If no warranty, inspect carefully before buying. We would actually also recommend in taking as many pictures and or videos as possible, maybe emailing them to yourself just for your protection. As it states, as is floor models, there may not be any warranty, and you want to make sure that the showroom condition is what is being delivered to you as the consumer. Extended warranties, extra protection at a cost. Your decision to have the warranty for a longer period of time than the regular warranty, or to include more parts of an item. Ask when the extended warranty starts, date of purchase or after the manufacturer's warranty expires. Example to this is you go to a big box store to purchase a laptop. Generally, in all my transactions and purchasing a laptop, they always ask if I'd be interested in some extra protection, and no different than your cellular telephones as well. It is your choice to either accept it, pay the premium, and again, read that warranty carefully. Implied warranty applies to every retail sale with every product that you buy. Also applies to retail sales as service, unless you agree to something else in writing or in contract. The seller must take care of your warranty concerns. If an item must go back to the manufacturer for repair, it is the seller's responsibility. And you do not have to pay for the shipping charges when sending the item back to the manufacturer. So an example of this would be you make your way to a big box store and you purchase a snow thrower, and it comes with a 3-year warranty. And say within the first year, something breaks on it. You bring the snow thrower back to the big box store, and it would be the big box store's responsibility to have it sent or shipped to the manufacturer for repair. Now, once a warranty claim does start, it is up to the manufacturer to apply what we call the 3 R's, to either repair, replace, or to refund the product. Now, the caveat to this is that if the manufacturer, once they receive the item, is under the impression or finds that the item was misused in any way that contravenes the warranty, then you as the consumer would be responsible for the shipping charges and any cost for that repair. Next topic, door-to-door sales and telephone solicitation. Direct sales or direct sellers. Again, door-to-door via flyer, telephone solicitation, and home parties. Home parties, what we mean by that is there is some candle businesses and or plastic container businesses that would be deemed as a direct sale and would have to be licensed with our office. Vendors and direct sellers must be licensed through the Consumer Protection Office. A vendor is a business, and the direct seller would be the individual who is at your residence or phoning you, who represents that business. Both entities, both the business and the agent or the representative for that business as the direct seller must be licensed with our office. If in doubt, always call the Consumer Protection Office to confirm a license. Did you know that with a direct sales contract, you have 10 days to cancel? Cancellation must be done in a way that you can prove. And the only way we can prove it is in writing. And in doing so, we always recommend that it's delivered by registered mail, fax, email, or personal delivery. Cancellation cannot be done over the phone. And we've had instances where consumers will in fact state that they've called the company numerous times to cancel. Unfortunately, under the terms and conditions, that would not apply. It has to be in writing. Generally as well, on these type of contracts, in the terms and conditions, it will specify a fax number or an address for which a letter has to be mailed to cancel that contract. Remember, watch out for high pressure sales tactics. Never sign something just to get rid of a salesperson. If it sounds too good to be true, it generally is. Trust your instincts. The next item would be buying a vehicle or a motor vehicle. Whether you're buying new or used, you cannot return it once you have bought it. In Manitoba, we do not have lemon laws, nor do we have a right of return, which means once you've signed for that motor vehicle, it is now yours. Deposits is another big one pertaining to vehicles, and I'll get into a little bit more depth with other businesses as well. If you leave a deposit, you have entered into a contract. It is up to the dealership whether or not they will let you cancel. Even if they agree to cancel, there's no law that says they have to return your deposit. So not only to motor vehicles themselves, but furniture purchases, electronics, anytime a deposit is left in Manitoba, it is deemed 100% non-refundable unless stated so in writing. So at that point, get it in writing or don't leave a deposit. Comparison shopping. Check out the reputation of the dealership you plan to do business with. Through the Better Business Bureau is recommended online through telephone. And there's quite a few online forums that you can consult as a consumer in order to make an educated decision on where you'd like to purchase your motor vehicle. Check with friends and family. If some of your family members or friends are mechanics, always ask. If buying used, have a mechanic check the vehicle out. Safety certificates only cover safety items, not mechanical. And in saying that as well, safety certificates, or what I guess proper word is the safety of a motor vehicle, is not administered through our office. It's done through Manitoba Public Insurance. However, it only covers the safety items, nothing mechanical. We can't stress enough that if you are buying used, to take it to an independent mechanic for an inspection. Warranty. What kind of warranty do they offer with the purchase of the motor vehicle? What about extended warranty? Is there an option to purchase extended warranty with the motor vehicle that you are interested in buying? Costs vary for warranty, so shop around. There are some independent and some larger insurance companies that may in fact offer some motor vehicle warranty coverage. and it might be slightly discounted. So always shop around. Read everything. So time to bargain is before you sign. If you don't understand something, don't sign it. Or if something isn't clear, don't sign it. Don't sign a contract that has any blanks on it. And get a copy and or take a picture. So rule of thumb, if you're applying your signature to the purchase bill of sale or an offer to purchase, make sure that you're taking a picture of what you've just signed. Next item here is motor vehicle advertising. Legislation came into force June 1st of 2015. Legislation addresses all print, online, and radio television advertisements. It consists of all in pricing, which means everything must be included to the destination delivery charges from the manufacturer to the dealership, tire tax, Air Canada levies, documentation fees. It must depict the cash price and a representative transaction. As a general rule, consumers should not pay any more than the advertised price of the vehicle. The caveat to this is if you see an advertisement for motor vehicles for $30,000, the intent of the legislation is for you as a consumer to make your way to the dealership. And if you're willing to pay that amount as advertised, the only additional fee, or I guess tax in this instance, would be just a regular sales tax and provincial sales tax. If at any point you negotiate or you have a trade-in for which you negotiate, then our legislation would then fall. And now the dealership could add or will add the mandatory fees. What we have to keep in mind is mandatory fees in of themselves are not illegal, but they must be included in the advertised price unless there's a negotiation. Motor vehicle disclosure. Came into effect December 31st, 2011. Manitoba car dealers must provide information regarding a vehicle's history. Must disclose specific information in the bill of sale or orally. Disclosure done to the best of the dealership's knowledge and belief. And information that a dealer knows or ought to have known using reasonable care and due diligence. So there's a couple items here. Dealerships like to advertise that they'll provide you with a Carfax, albeit that it's good information. It would not meet the requirements of the motor vehicle information disclosure set out within our regulation. Thus, it must be on the bill of sale orally or written as a separate document. Second bit to this as well, referencing the third bullet, where the dealer knows or ought to have known if there is a repair done to a vehicle, but it was done privately, the information that a dealership would probably receive would not include a privately repaired vehicle. The dealership should take all reasonable steps to identify information from, but not limited to, the manufacturers, auctions, Manitoba Public Insurance, MPI, vehicle history reports, vehicle inspections, and the previous owner, if they can. All dealership staff should be familiar with the official Manitoba regulation. These are the dealership's responsibilities. Private sales. This is a buyer beware situation and is often sold as is, meaning no warranty and no laws to protect you. Check for liens against the vehicle. A lien occurs when money is owed on the vehicle, meaning the entity itself is called TerraNet, which they administer the personal property registry, and you can check to see whether or not a lien has been applied to that vehicle. and going back to the buyer beware, since it's a private sale and you're buying from an actual individual and not a business, we would not have legislation that can assist you in any way. Another thing to keep in mind, as per the third bullet, a lien follows the motor vehicle itself and not the individual who owes money. So if you purchased a vehicle, say through Kijiji or a Facebook Marketplace or some kind of online forum like that, and it's individual to individual, do your due diligence to find out whether or not a lien has been applied to that motor vehicle. Motor vehicle work and repairs came into force July 1st, 2013. Legislation addresses the signage that is found within the vestibule or the waiting room of the repair or the garage, estimates, authorization, invoices, and warranty. Written estimates must be offered for work or repairs to motor vehicles over $100. Must contain quite a bit of information about the consumer, the repair, the vehicle information, description of work to be performed, list of parts to be used, the type could be new or reconditioned, the cost of each part, total charge for labor, all other charges, including but not limited to shop supplies, the total cost, and a statement regarding exceeding estimate and authorization as prescribed within our regulation. Authorization is required from the consumer to charge for the repair, can be in writing, fax, phone, or via email. Record must be made of authorization, and it must consist of the consumer's name, the telephone number, the date and time of the received authorization. Warranty through our legislation is 90 days or 5,000 kilometers, whichever comes first on parts and the labor, begins on date of delivery to the consumer. What that means is, and I've done this quite often myself, is I will drop my car off to be repaired at a facility, and then I go on a vacation for about a week. The warranty starts the day I come back to pick up my motor vehicle. That's when the warranty would start. And consumer supplied parts only come with labor warranty if installed incorrectly. So if you're presenting yourself with you purchased brake pads through a different facility and you just would like this garage to install them, then the warranty would apply to the labor only. Internet agreements. A buyer may cancel an agreement through their credit card if the seller fails to provide the prescribed information, terms and conditions, additional charges, the seller fails to deliver goods or services within 30 days as specified delivery date. In saying that as well, if most of the time, or generally I should say, internet purchases are done through credit card, you can always go back to your credit card company if you had not received the goods and services within 30 days and request a chargeback. Another chapter, payday loans. So the Consumer Protection Office regulates payday loan industry, regulates the fees, interest rates that lenders may charge, set licensing requirements, record keeping requirements, inspection of records, informs the borrower of the cost in writing, right to access and to inspect operations and records. And this is all administered and enforced by us, the Consumer Protection Office. Payday loans, did you know all payday lenders in Manitoba must be licensed, and we will license them. Lenders cannot charge more than $17 for every $100 they lend. There is a 48-hour cancellation clause. Common misconceptions. We are not a court, and we do not make rulings, nor do we make judgments, and nor are we lawyers. We are not a reporting agency, so we are not like the Better Business Bureau or some of the online forums to report a review. Our office does not monitor the marketplace in terms of price controls, product standards, or ratings. Each of those themselves have their own entity, let it be federal or a different provincial branch. And the Consumer Protection Office is not a consumer advocate. It is a neutral body. We remain neutral in order to assist through the mediation process. These are some of the most common contacts for consumers that we, I guess, experience throughout the day, both through email and through telephone. CAFC is the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center. And if at any point you feel that your credit card was compromised or there's been some fraudulent activity, we always recommend you go back to your credit card company to advise them of such. And then you can contact the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center and advise them of your situation. Equifax and TransUnion are the two credit reporting agencies within Canada. And anytime there's good or bad credit report or credit history, it must be accurate. And that is something that our office would inquire. These would be the two entities that we would question. CAMVAP is the Canadian Motor Vehicle Arbitration Plan. This is an entity that for brand new or newly purchased motor vehicles, and it pertains mostly to manufacturers' defects and not dealership situations. Competition Bureau of Canada, what they would investigate would be deceptive or misleading advertisement practices. Personal Property Registry Office, again, through the TerraNet entity, where inquiring whether there's a lien that's applied to a motor vehicle. The CRTC, Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission, again, the regulators for both radio and television and telecommunications. FCAC, which is the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. This would be the federal branch at which you would contact if you had any concerns or questions regarding your financial institution and credit cards. Now in Manitoba, we have FIRB or FIRB, which is Financial Institutions Regulation Branch. This branch would regulate insurance, the credit unions, as well as the Caisse Populaire. That is everything. The floor is open to you guys. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you so much. I'm just going to, here we go, change the view. And I see that we only have a few attendees, so I don't know how many questions there will be, but we can give a few moments to see if any questions pop up. Otherwise, we might wrap up earlier tonight. A few moments. Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions just yet. So maybe I will go ahead and wrap up so that we can all end a little bit earlier. So thank you so much to everybody for joining tonight. And thank you so much, Brian, for sharing your time and expertise with us.